There's one in every family. Ours shows up each Thanksgiving. Trucker hat, worn shirt, faded jeans. We get to listen to his diatribes about the economy, the fake moon landing, and how Big Brother is trying to kill us with weather manipulation. It's not natural, he says, clutching a turkey drumstick. Those white streaks in the sky, it's population control. Someone's got to do something about it. Typically, these conversations only last a few minutes. My family has learned the art of distracting him with questions like, "So, Uncle Hank, how's the new boat? Are you enjoying retirement? Did you get your hip looked at?" But this last time, several Thanksgivings ago, it got really bad. Uncle Hank had a little too much to drink, got on one of his rampages, and wouldn't stop. "The government's cooking up another virus," he shouted. "It will make Ebola look like the flu. It will go airborne and wipe out 70% of the population. We've got to rise up." His tirade started to make Grandma sob. She had just lost Grandpa and was still processing her grief. Dad shifted in his seat, pissed, then leapt up. "Enough," he said, and escorted Uncle Hank out of the room. "Listen, I'm sorry." Hank apologized, but Dad led him outside and slammed the door. I didn't see much of him after that, but then, a few years later, my girlfriend Vanessa and I had to drive south to tour her new university. She had just been accepted to a master's program and wanted to check out the campus. I was so proud. We were navigating an isolated road when our GPS stopped working. Before long, our car ended up in the middle of a forested back road, surrounded by darkness. "See anything?" Vanessa asked, checking for road signs. "No," I said, craning my eyes. The sunlight was vanishing. Then the car shuddered violently. Shit! I pulled over and parked. Smoke billowed out from the hood as Vanessa and I got out. It was so cold, the air clung to our skin. We pulled our jackets close. I didn't have a flashlight, so Vanessa held her phone over me as I peered under the hood. I couldn't see what was wrong. I called the tow truck company. They told me they couldn't be there until the next day. Damn. I turned to Vanessa. Cold air biting my skin. Looks like we're stuck here for the night. She buried her hands in her pockets, shivering. "Do you know anyone here?" I frowned as I thought. "Yeah, I know someone." I made the call. It was about an hour later that Uncle Hank's truck appeared down the road. He pulled up behind my car and stepped out wearing his signature cowboy boots. "Wee wee," Uncle Hank whistled. "What have we got here?" "Hi, Uncle Hank." I offered my hand to shake his, but he just gave me a big bear hug. You know, the kind that feels like your ribs are about to break. Then he turned to Vanessa. "Who's this?" "Vanessa," she said, and shook his hand. "Thanks for saving us." "My pleasure. It's what anyone would do for family." Hank turned and peered inside my vehicle. He couldn't figure out what was wrong either. "Well, looks like the mechanic will have to sort this out." He dusted off his hands on his pants. "Why don't you stay over at my place? I'll drive you to the shop in the morning." "That'd be great, Uncle Hank." Vanessa and I got our bags, left the keys in my car, climbed into Uncle Hank's truck, and drove off. We were in the cab for about 5 minutes when Uncle Hank cleared his throat. "So, where'd you two meet?" "University," I said. Ah, he leaned over, made eye contact with Vanessa. Universities are for brainwashing. Lizard people use them as tools for indoctrination. Lizard people? She said. They rule the world. She just nodded. I could tell she was uncomfortable. Best way to tell a lizard person is to. So, Uncle Hank, I piped in. How's your boat running? Oh, that old thing? He thought. Boat's fine, but the damn thing keeps breaking down. Just last weekend. I smiled and relaxed, satisfied my question had diverted him. About 30 minutes later, we were at his place. It was a small squat building in the back end of nowhere. There wasn't another house for miles. Come on in, he said, and held the door open for us. Don't break anything or I'll murder you. Vanessa and I looked at each other, disturbed by his off-putting joke. Just kidding, he said, and pointed to a room down the hall. You lovebirds can take the guest room. He signaled to another. There's the bathroom. Master bedroom's around the corner. If you hear any strange noises, don't come looking for me. Vanessa and I looked at each other. What? I'll let you two get unpacked. Good night. He disappeared around the corner as I helped Vanessa move our bags to the guest room. A few minutes later, Vanessa went to the bathroom to get ready for bed. I stored our stuff in the closet, and Uncle Hank popped in. Psst, Tommy. Yes, Uncle Hank. Your girlfriend, is she a flat earther? A what? Flat earther. Like, does she believe the earth is round or... He made a horizontal motion with his hands. I thought the question was strange, but I humored him. I don't know, Uncle Hank. I'll have to ask her. Please do. He just stood there, looking at me. I prayed the awkward moment would pass. But it kept going. Finally, the sound of cascading water hit our ears. Vanessa must have started the shower. Well, I better hit the hay. Uncle Hank rapped his knuckles on the door. You lovebirds get some sleep. And remember, you hear any strange noises, don't come knocking. The repeated comment creeped me out, but I shrugged it off. It was one night. How bad could it be? Okay, Uncle Hank. He wandered into the hall, footsteps pattering. I heard a door close and thanked God he was gone. A few hours later, I flopped into bed next to Vanessa, both dressed and ready for sleep. I held her hand as I drifted off. Later that night, God only knows when, I felt someone stir me awake. It was Vanessa. Tom, what? I sat up and rubbed the grogginess from my eyes. It's your uncle. I heard a loud moan come from the hall, desperate, pleading, like someone was having a violent seizure. I sat up and listened. Another agonizing squeal erupted from his bedroom, like a person was being eaten alive. What the hell is that? Vanessa said. I don't know. I scrambled up and went to the door. Another painful groan. Is your uncle okay? I'm sure he is. It sounds like he's dying. The screams grew louder. Then, a gasp of pain, almost sob-like. Oh my God, Tom, do something. He told us to leave him alone. Just to make sure he's all right. The groans turned into a series of belly-wrenching screams. I ventured out of the room. Oh God, help me, help. It was Uncle Hank, wailing in misery. I raced to his bedroom door, pounded on it. Uncle Hank, what's going on in there? Another loud scream. I twisted the knob. It was locked. God, no! Help me! His voice sounded shell-shocked, entreating. I'm coming in. I backed up and slammed my shoulder into the door. Bang. Then again. Bang. Help me. Finally, I broke through. Uncle Hank's bedroom was dark, except for a sliver of moonlight peering through the window. Hank was sitting on the edge of his bed, gasping, and something small, no bigger than a bulldog, was sitting on his shoulders, whispering into his ears. No, please, I can't take any more, Hank begged. The shape's voice sounded eerie and soft, almost seductive, but I couldn't tell what it was saying. Please, no more. I crept back, trying to rationalize the situation. Your lies hurt so much. Then, my voice slipped out of my throat. It must have been a gut reaction to all the insanity. As soon as the words came, I wanted to pull them back in. Uncle Hank, are you all right? Uncle Hank turned. His voice was cold, menacing. I told you not to come in. I'm sorry. He leapt off his bed, dashing toward me. I tried getting away, but he grabbed my arm, slapped a sweaty palm over my lips, pinned me against the wall. I squirmed, trying to break free, but his grip was strong. Uncle Hank leaned in close, his breath hot against my face. You should have listened to me, Tommy. I nodded, begging to be let go. The weird shape was still atop his shoulders, whispering. It was so dark I couldn't tell what it was, but it had glowing yellow eyes, and the smell, I can't even describe it. You must not tell anyone what you've seen, Uncle Hank said. I was so scared. What was even happening? I just nodded, sweat pouring down my face. Uncle Hank removed his hand and backed away. Go to bed, Tommy. I bobbed my head, stumbled back into the hall, my mind swirling. I staggered to our bedroom, leapt inside, shut the door. Vanessa just stared at me from the bed, white-knuckling her comforter. What happened? I don't know. Seriously, Tom, what was it? I don't know. Is he all right? I can't tell you. I just flopped into bed, silent, not wanting to make any more noise. Why won't you tell me? Trust me, I can't. Vanessa frowned and turned away. I sank back into my sheets, delirious, hoping to disappear. Needless to say, I didn't sleep much that night. Next morning, I could hear Uncle Hank whistling through the house, getting ready for the day. 5 minutes later, he knocked on our door. You kids want something to eat? Vanessa and I had just finished packing. We were both dressed and ready to go. No thanks. All right, come on out when you're ready, and I'll drive you over. Not long after, Uncle Hank has shuttled us to the shop. We got to our car, Told the mechanic about our problems. Case closed. Uncle Hank pulled me aside after I had finished talking with the mechanic. Now listen, Tommy, about last night. It's okay. We don't need to talk about it. No, I need to apologize. You see, I've got this cat. A cat? Sometimes when I get scared, it comes to me and sits on my shoulder. It tells me things to comfort me. I just stood there, not knowing what to say. Last night, it was telling me about my past. Uncle Hank's voice drifted away as my mind blocked out his words. Anyway, he slapped a hand on my shoulder, reassuring me. I'm sorry for overacting. Let's keep this between us, all right? Okay, Uncle Hank. He hiked back to his truck, waving goodbye to Vanessa. Take care of my nephew. Will do, she waved, grateful to see him going. Uncle Hank got in his truck, backed out, and merged onto the road. Vanessa frowned. You're still not going to tell me what happened? I just shrugged. How could I? I didn't even know what had happened. My eyes glanced back to Uncle Hank's truck as it shrank in the distance. In the rear window, I could barely notice a small bulldog-sized creature perched upon his shoulders. Its yellow eyes focused on me. I had no idea what it was, but I knew this. It sure as hell wasn't a cat.